I remember the exact second it happened. The ink was still metaphorically wet. The boardroom lights hummed like they were nervous. My phone buzzed with congratulations while my boss leaned back and said, "You're replaceable." Then he slid the termination letter across the table, right over the ghost of a $602 million deal I had just closed. No context, no warning, just a clean cut like removing a limb and asking the body to keep walking. For a moment, the room went silent inside my head, not numb, focused. That dangerous quiet where emotions stop screaming and start calculating. I stood, I nodded, I thanked him for the opportunity. That part still surprises people. Before that day, my life had weight to it, not luxury. Responsibility, a mortgage paid on time, a partner who trusted my judgment, a reputation built on delivering what others only promised. I was the one they sent when the stakes were too high for mistakes, the one who stayed late so others could leave early. The name whispered to clients when deals stalled. I believed loyalty mattered. I believed results spoke louder than politics. I believed my boss when he said, "We win together." That belief didn't shatter all at once, it cracked. It started with small things, my calendar invites disappearing, strategy meetings rescheduled without me, a junior executive suddenly, overseeing my accounts, compliments that sounded rehearsed, praise with an expiration date. I noticed the way my boss stopped using my name. The team did great. The department pulled this off. Never me. Never directly. I felt the temperature drop, not cold enough to panic, just enough to know winter was coming. The betrayal didn't announce itself. It revealed itself. 2 weeks before the deal closed, I was assigned on an email by mistake. My name was missing from the future org chart. My role listed as under review. My client reassigned to someone who had never spoken to them. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't ask questions. I didn't react. I smiled, and I started preparing. I documented everything. Every email where the client asked for me by name, every message where they refused to proceed without my approval, every contract draft that had my initials baked into the structure like a signature only the sharp-eyed could see. I remembered something my boss forgot. The client didn't trust the company. They trusted me. So when the deal closed, I let it. I made sure the finish line was crossed cleanly. I wanted no loose threads, no excuses. Then came the firing. Clinical. Smug. Rushed. Nothing personal, he said. That was the lie. It was entirely personal. He thought power came from position. He thought leverage lived in titles. I left the building carrying nothing but a thin box and a heavier calm. The next morning, my phone rang. An unfamiliar number, a familiar voice. The client. They didn't ask how I was. They asked where I went. I told them the truth. I'd been let go. I was exploring options. There was a pause, long, loaded. Then they said, "We don't have a deal without you." That was the moment the ground shifted. By noon, my former company was scrambling emergency calls. Legal teams. Damage control. They tried to reassure the client. They offered discounts. Apologies. Promises. None of it landed. Because trust doesn't transfer with a logo. It follows a name. By evening, I was sitting in another glass office. Different skyline. Same altitude. A competitor I'd sparred with for years slid an offer across the table. They didn't negotiate hard. They didn't pretend I was replaceable. They knew exactly what was walking through their door. I signed. Not with celebration. With certainty. The showdown came a week later. My old boss called me in a panic masked as professionalism. He asked if I'd be willing to consult, to stabilize the account. He said my departure had caused confusion. I let him talk. I let him explain. I let him sweat. Then I told him the truth. The client had followed me. The contract was being reissued. The revenue he'd already spent in his head was gone. Silence. The kind that echoes. He tried to argue, tried to threaten, tried to remind me of non-competes that didn't apply and leverage that never existed. I stayed calm. I always stayed calm. I reminded him of the emails, the signatures, the clauses that required my direct involvement. I reminded him of the word he used, replaceable. His voice cracked. Not loud, subtle. A man realizing the floor was never solid. When the call ended, I didn't feel joy. I felt alignment. Weeks later, I watched from a distance as his company announced layoffs, restructuring. Strategy shifts. My old department dissolved quietly. No one mentioned my name. They didn't need to. I didn't post about it. I didn't gloat. I didn't tell the story at first. I just worked, delivered, did what I always did, only this time, the credit followed me. Revenge doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be cruel. Sometimes it's just letting gravity do the work once you step out of the way. I think about that word sometimes, replaceable. It taught me something valuable. People don't fire assets. They fire what they don't understand. And when they finally do, it's already too late.